Welcome to episode 3 of this drum course, and today we'll go over the adding of the planes of the head and the ear. So let's quickly add our basic steps we learned before from the previous videos. So halves for proportions. If you haven't watched that video, go watch that one before you watch this. So let's do a drawing again and just recall our steps. Center line of the face, 2 curves just to add the basic jaw shape. Then halfway through the sphere for the brow line. And now we'll divide from the brow line to the chin into 2 equal halves to give us the bottom of the nose. And halfway through that, the bottom of the eye socket. Halfway from the eye socket to the brow line, the center of the eye. 1/3 for the center of the lip, and half from the center of the lip to the down for the chin. And that's just our basic hairline there. And our cutout for the side plane. We discussed this in the previous video before this one. Basic head cutout to give us the side plane. So now let's go again, and this time from another angle, and actually add the ear this time. Okay, let's just do this one first. Half again, bottom of the nose, half for the bottom eye socket, halfway through that for the eyes, 1/3 for the lips, and half of that for the chin. Our hairline, from hairline to nose line, we put our cutout sphere. And now adding the ear, we'll look at our cutout for the side plane of the head, and the third side, we divided into 4. The third one, that's where we add our C curve for the ear. The ear is basically a C curve. So we add our basic ear on this one, and we add the second ear there. Just a basic C curve for now. Now adding the jawline from the ending of the ear, we'll add basic 2 lines to define the jaw, one and another line curving to the chin, one and another line, just 2 lines to define the jaw. Now let's do that from the 3/4 view. This is from the 3/4 view. Our brow line, and the basic jaw halfway for the nose. Add all our proportions here now. And now we had our side plane all cut out. Divide it in 4 halves. And we add our ear. Basic C curve. We add it there. And now for our jaw. 2 straight lines going to the chin. One line coming down and the other going to the chin. So now let's do from our side view. Remember the side view, this face is more like an egg shape, really much more egg shape. And our gesture for the head. Add our proportions. And we add our side plane, divide it in 4. And our ear goes in a third part. So our basic C curve to establish the ear. And now for the jaw, 2 lines. Just to keep things simple for now, we'll build up the jaw with just 2 lines. Let's quickly establish another drawing here. So our gesture of the head. Then our proportions. And the side plane. And now add our ear. And 2 lines to define the shape of the jaw. So let's draw another head here. The center line of the head, the bottom of the chin, our gesture shape for the jaw, our brow line and all of the proportions. Add our side plane and now the ear. And two lines to define the jaw properly. So now let's move on to the next step. Now add the side plane of the face. Let's do a three-quarter view. Add all our gesture of the head. Cut out for the side plane. Then the ear, a basic curve. Now we'll define the jaw. And now from the top of the ear to the end of the chin, we'll draw a curve to define this side of the face. Because the face isn't flat, this part receding backwards. So we'll draw that line to define this side of the face or the jawline. And for the eye socket now, we'll draw this basic shape, and remember that the eye socket is actually receding, it's going inside of the head. So from the top of the brow line or top of the eye socket to the line for the center of the eye, we'll draw a basic shape there. Draw a shape like this. That's actually called the keystone. And now we define each eye socket individually. So for the eye socket, we're seeing some parts of the top because it's going inside. We're seeing some parts there, so we'll quickly draw and shade that in. because the eye doesn't just sit flat, it goes inside the eye socket. And now for the nose. Here is a quick guide on the shape we're using for the nose. Just like a box but wider at the bottom. So that is actually the tip of the nose. The tip of the nose and the bottom of the nose are two different. So from the keystone, from the center of the keystone, I like to draw a straight line down and down to the center line of the face before we actually connect the sides of the keystone. Draw a line from sides of the keystone and connect that to the tip of the nose and draw the lines going down for the bottom of the nose. Now let's go over that again. Our gesture of the head. Quick measurement of the proportions, half for the eye socket. So put our hairline and quickly define the side of the face so we can establish our ear. So we add our C curves for the ear and two lines to define our jaw. And now for the construction, top of the ear to the corner of the chin. Top of the ear to the corner of the chin here, so just a basic curve. And for the eye socket, we put in our shape for the eye socket here. And add our keystone from the center of the eye to the top of the eye socket. Add our planes going inside. And for the nose, we find the tip of the nose, it's higher than the bottom of the nose. So connect with a square and then just like another square, we add another square under that square. And that's for the nose. Here is a quick breakdown of the shape we're using for the nose. Like drawing a sphere and drawing a wider sphere under and connecting them with lines. So now let's put this concept in our side plane. Our measurements: the nose, the eye socket, the mouth, and our side of the head, which is the cutout of the side plane of the head. We quickly add our ear here, the C curve for the ear, and for the jawline, our two basic lines. And for the eye socket from this angle, we know the eye socket is receding into the face. So we draw it going down here, putting our keystone. And now we add the nose. The tip of the nose is higher from the bottom of the nose, so put that in mind. Defining the side of the nose from the side view isn't the same as the front. We just add a curve from the bottom of the nose to the tip of the nose. Now basic side of the face. And for the mouth doesn't just sit on the face like that. So we draw a sphere from the nose to the top of the chin. I also draw another sphere for the chin. This sphere for the mouth is where the lips actually sit. It wraps around this sphere. It's established that here too is sphere for the lips, and another sphere for the chin. Okay, now let's quickly put those in our drawings from the previous videos. Again, you should watch those ones before watching these ones. So C curve for our ear. Lines, two lines to define our jaw. Curve from the ear to the corner of the chin to define the plane of the face. And now our eye socket. Remember, the eye socket is like cutting down, cutting into the face. The keystone from top of the eye socket to the center line of the eye. And our nose. Our nose is actually two square. One square on top, another square under, and just connecting the two squares. The square under is wider. Then it's sphere for where our lips sit. Another sphere for the chin. Now let's quickly put that in our 3/4 view. So the ear, the jaw, and for this one we actually define the eye socket going inside and add our keystone. The eye sockets going in, and now the nose is actually going to the left, to the right, the side of the face or the jawline. And let's add that to this sphere to the mouth area. The mouth actually wraps around this sphere. So now let's quickly put in those concepts to the side. The ear, 2 lines to define the jaw, curve from the top of the ear to the side of the chin. The eye socket coming inside. Then the keystone. And then the nose. So I guess that's it for constructing the face, and in the next video we'll go deep